Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to a different video, and I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to attempt to PvP while I talk about how to improve the PvP scene in World of Warcraft, because in my honest opinion, I think it's getting very stale. As someone who PvPs for YouTube, and just in general a shit ton, I'm going to be talking about what I think can be done better, what could be implemented to make the game better, what new systems could be implemented, all that shit, while I try to PvP. And starting off, better battleground gear, and or just gear that you get from battlegrounds in general. I feel like the gear you do get from battlegrounds isn't all that great. Most of the time in Season 5 you get, I think it's 970 gear, or 870 gear, sorry, so it's not that great. But it's still, like, decent if you're really under geared. But other than that, most of the time if you have like a 900 item level, you almost get no upgrades from battlegrounds, even from the gladiator gear that you sometimes do get. It's just not that great. Yeah. Next thing, I feel like if they want to give better gear, they should make it so if you do a certain amount of battlegrounds, say, let's say you do 50 battlegrounds on a character, then you would get a permanent item level increase to whatever gear that you'd get from battlegrounds. So, and then that would go up to like a certain cap, maybe cap out the same item level as like, maybe, I don't know, normal raid gear. It would be the same, or maybe a little lower, maybe the same as Raid Finder, or a little bit above Raid Finder, maybe the same as normal, maybe a little bit lower than heroic. So let's say you do 20 battlegrounds, you get better gear, so let's say 870 gear is the gear you get right now. You do 20 battlegrounds, you get a permanent upgrade to the item level gear you get. So instead of 870, you'd get 875. You do another 20 battlegrounds, you get 80 gear instead of 875. Do another 20 battlegrounds, you get 885 gear instead of 870, or 880. And then that would be implemented to the gladiator gear that you do get from battlegrounds too. So instead of 890 gear, you'd get 895 gear instead of 895 gear. After 20 battlegrounds, you'd get 900. After another 20, you'd get 905, so on and so on. And then that would cap out, the gladiator gear would cap out at a certain level, say the mythic gear, whatever, that, or heroic gear, and then the normal combatant gear that you'd get would cap out at a certain item level that's lower than the gladiator gear, but not super high. Talking about gear, Marks of Honor, make it so we can actually be in control of when we fucking get gear when we battleground, because right now it's complete RNG into whenever we get gear in battlegrounds. If you, in battlegrounds specifically, it's so stupid. I don't understand why Blizzard would do that. They really like to be in control, or like people to be in control of when they get loot. Point in case the Veiled Argonite, or whatever you want to fucking call it, where you can get gear from a vendor, where there's a literal resource. Just make it so we get something from battlegrounds that we can turn into a vendor. That's not the Echoes of Domination that we have a chance to get whenever we do battlegrounds. Just make it so we can maybe get like 5 of those a battleground, 2 of those a battleground. Even getting any of those in a battleground would be better than getting none like we are now. Goddamn. You can tell I'm really passionate about this. Honor points, that would like the same thing. Just make Marks of Honor or honor points or something available so we can actually buy gear with honor points, or whenever we do battlegrounds. Next thing, solo queue. Everyone talks about this in the world. Give us solo queue, please. Every game has solo queue. Why don't we have solo queue? We're stuck in 2007, Blizzard. Make it so there's solo queue for rated battlegrounds. Make it so there's solo queue for 2v2s, and make it so there's solo queue for 3v3s, and make it so there's solo queue for 5v5, and bring that back. That, all mixed together, would keep PvP people occupied, would make it so we get gear more, would make it so we always have something to do, and would always make it so it's always even in rated battlegrounds. And the reason why I don't think they do this, and I don't even know why they don't do it in normal battlegrounds too, is because for some reason, some teams will have more healers than the other. Some teams will have no healers, some teams will have 3 healers, some teams will have just 5 tanks. It's really weird. Just make it so it uses the same system as LFG and implement that into a solo queue system. So do it kind of like League of Legends. I hate to say it, but You know how League of Legends, like, if there's a certain role that's not getting filled, you're going to play that role. Make it so that people can sign up as to what role they're willing to play. So if someone's willing to play all 3 roles, say someone's a druid, they want to play Guardian Druid, Resto Druid, Feral Druid, Balance Druid, make it so they can sign up as all 3, and then make it so they fill in which one they need the most. Make that available to every class. Make it so rated battlegrounds can be solo queue. There you go, problem solved. You can just play solo queue. As I'm not even PvPing at this point, but we're just getting shit on, so there's really no point. Make it so there's solo queue for everything, and get rid of healers and 2s. There should not be healers and 2s. I've said this so many times. Healers should be in 3s and 5s and rated battlegrounds, not 2s. I feel like 2s should just strictly say 2 DPS, but a lot of people argue with me there. But I'm trying to run through this since we're fucking getting stomped. Ratings / divisions and more honor talents. There should be ratings or divisions. Say 1500 to 1700. There should be, like, you know, the titles where it's like Private Marshal, Grand Marshal, all that shit. That should be the equivalent of the divisions in World of Warcraft. Say you're 1300, you're a Private. Say if you're 2300, you're a Gladiator or a Grand Marshal or whatever. Make it so there's some title or some sense of achievement to whenever you get a certain rating, other than just, hey, you have this achievement now, you can link it to people so people group with you more. Make it so there's actually, like, make it so people know that you worked hard and got to that point. And that's the same thing with titles, but only like the top 10 or whatever, top 50 people get titles. I think that's idiotic. Why don't you just make it so people always have a title, even if it's like, even if they're low rating, it still gives them some sense of achievement. Honor talents, or talents in general. I really don't like the place the talents are at right now. The fact that we only have, what, 1, 2, 3, 7 times 3 is 21 talents to pick from. We need more. Even with honor talents, that's what, 18? Yeah, 18. We just need more talents. Maybe make it so certain talents are unlocked by your honor level. So, like, you hit prestige level 1, you get a new honor talent that's somewhat better. Prestige level 2, you get a new honor talent that you won't get unless you hit prestige. Do that for prestige. Make it so there's more incentives to prestiging. Make it so there's more incentives to PvP in general and to prestige. More artifact power. It's pretty hard to get artifact power in PvP. You don't really get all that much unless you, I guess, do arenas, but anyway. Wow, I did a lot of damage there. I guess that's my thoughts on PvP right now. I don't really like where PvP's at, but I think it's satisfactory at best. It's not horrible, but it's not nearly as good as PvE's at right now. Like, Blizzard's been ignoring PvP for so long. And I feel like it's finally time that they do something about it and make it so it's actually an aspect to the game now. Because I've been PvPing since the Wrath of the Lich King, I'd say. For the last Wars of Draenor, Miss Pandaria, and this expansion, it's been the same thing this whole time. And I feel like it's finally time that the people, or the developers, or whoever, finally makes a stand, makes a change. Because right now, in the point of where PvP is headed right now, it's going to die out. It's been the same thing forever. It's not... You can't expect us to play the same thing over and over again with just normal battlegrounds, normal rated battlegrounds, normal 2s and 3s, and expect us to just keep on playing it and liking it, even though we've been complaining about it for like 2 expansions now. So hopefully they do something about that. I could make a video going more in depth to this. This was just kind of like a spur of the moment video. Literally wrote this shit down and then just made this video because it was something that I really wanted to talk about. If you guys have any suggestions or thoughts on this, feel free to leave in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think Blizzard should do to PvP and what they should do to make it better. I think they should make it so gear is more available to us. Somehow the gear scales up with the more you play PvP. That's not incorporated into rating, because that's in rating right now. Like, the higher in rating you go, the better gear you get. But I feel like for the more casual player, there should be something that makes it so you get higher item level gear the more you PvP. Make it so solo queue's a thing. Make it so LFG system where tanks, healers, and DPS works in rated battlegrounds. Make a 10v10 solo queue system. Make a 2v2 solo queue system. Make a 5v5 solo queue system. Make a 3v3 solo queue system. So we can actually play by ourselves. Because the reason we play WoW Blizzard is because we don't have friends. Why? I didn't have friends for like 3 expansions, and I'd just play random battlegrounds by myself, and I wouldn't get good gear. I feel like, God, I'm not even in the battlegrounds anymore. I've been rambling for so long. Make it so there's solo queue, please, Blizzard. There needs to be that, and divisions. Just make it so there's privates, marshals, corporals, sergeants, whatever. Do that. Make it so gear is more available. Make it so even if we do just do random battlegrounds or even solo queue, if you guys ever implement that, 2v2s, whatever, that we can get some type of currency that we can convert into gear. Because without that, it's just complete RNG, like it is right now, and I don't really like that. And I feel like a lot of people would also agree with me that they don't really like that it's completely RNG whether or not you get gear. Because at least when you're getting a currency, you can tell that, yep, I'm working my way to this upgrade that I can buy, and be able to replace this piece of gear that I've had for so long. I bet I can go to my character right now and find a piece of very low item level gear compared to the rest of my gear. Let's find it. 895, 885, 880, 890, 875. The lowest piece of gear I have is my shoulders. The reason why is because the RNG of this loot system does not allow me to get a better piece of gear or choose a better piece of gear. And of course people argue that PvE can't do that either. That would be the incentive to PvE people playing PvP. That would bring it back into the game. They'd be able to target certain item slots so they could target that item slot and replace it with a better piece of gear. I don't understand why Blizzard has been ignoring PvP. It seems like they have. It's like the ignored stepchild of this game, and it's slightly irritating. This is probably the most agitated I'll ever sound in any video, really, but in conclusion, make it so we can get gear. Make it so solo queue's a thing. Make it so there's divisions. Make it so we get more artifact power. Make it so there's more incentives to prestiging. Because right now, the only point of prestiging is to get mounts and artifact appearances. Maybe make it so there's more honor talents. Make it so if you prestige it to a certain level, you get a new talent that you can use that has some kind of unique interaction with your other talents. I don't know. Make it so it synergizes well with other talents. You need to do something with PvP, Blizzard. This is just... It's been so long since we've had a different change. Like the highlight, or the biggest thing that we've had a huge PvP change was Ashran. And that, in my opinion, I didn't like it. I think Wintergrass was probably the best thing that Blizzard's ever done with PvP in general, because I remember in Wrath of the Witch King just playing the shit out of that. I don't know. I can go more in depth to this. I could ramble on for 30 minutes about how to improve about PvP, but yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts in the description below. Seriously, let me know, and I will make a video if you guys really want me to, explaining everything in my thoughts and what Blizzard could do. Literally exactly what Blizzard could do, I will make a video on it. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Different video, kind of more me bitching at a fucking screen for a little bit, but it's alright. If you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Make sure you share this with your friends. Try to make this go viral, really, because this is the one video that I kind of care about, where I really, really want Blizzard to change how PvP works, because right now it's been the same thing forever, and I want this to get to Blizzard and let them know that a lot of people don't really like PvP right now. We need something that's not random beauties and what's implemented right now. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, try to follow my social media, try to catch me live streaming. I play every class, so I feel like I kind of have some knowledge as to what's wrong with PvP, I guess. Yeah. As always, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.